In this week's Forex Forecast, we're going to be looking at all of the important supply and demand zones created by the large institutions and the banks in order to help you with your trading this week. All right, starting things off with the US dollar. There are no COT report data to report this week, so I apologize for that. And I highly recommend that you guys go back and watch my past weekly Forex Forecast and check out the accuracy of the analysis. We are in daily supply right now. My target was hit at 94.8 on the dollar. Last week I said I was bullish the US dollar, and now we are in daily supply, so we could see a small pullback, but ultimately I think we will be going much higher. And the evidence for that is that we have broken out of this range right now. So where I think we're going next is probably to this weekly / monthly area of supply. So my ultimate target would be 96.5. But at the end of the day, I am still very bullish the dollar because the momentum is up on almost all time frames. All right, on to EURUSD. Our target was hit at 1.1475, as you can see on the screen now. So if you got in short, if you watched last week's forecast, good for you. Happy it worked out for you guys. Now we are in daily demand, so we could see a small reaction to the upside, but ultimately I do think we will be going much lower. And my next target would be 1.136. So I'm not really interested in going long here based on the momentum being down on all time frames right now. So I'm not really interested in going long. What I'm personally going to be waiting for is that reaction and then that move down, breaking that daily demand, and then I'll try to hop on a lower time frame like a 1 hour or a 15-minute time frame to ride shorts to the downside. This is a 4-hour chart here. Momentum is clearly down. For me to hop on a 15-minute short, I would have to have this 4-hour demand removed, and then you could be shorting the 15-minute time frame. But keep in mind, we do have that overall daily demand right here, so it would be best to wait for that to happen. But ultimately, I think we are going to go much lower on the euro. Even though we could see a small move up, I think the most profit could be made by a move down to 1.136. It's all going to depend on, how far we move up and, when this 4-hour area of demand will be removed. But ultimately, I am very, very short bias on the US dollar. And where do I think we're going? Ultimately, I think we're going down here to this weekly / monthly area of demand at 1.136. So I will not be bullish the Euro USD until we come down here. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to be trying to short price until we reach this weekly area of demand and monthly area of demand. All right, looking at the British pound, GBPUSD. Last week I said if you wanted to go long, to target 1.136, which was this daily area of supply. So if you got in long, very nice, and we reacted very nicely off of this daily area of supply. So right now my targets to the upside would be 1.35 right here, downside 1.334. For me personally, what I'm waiting for on this pair, looking at a 4-hour chart, I need to have this alert go off, which would mean that we make a new low where I'll be on a 15-minute chart looking for shorts to the downside because we will have a 4-hour, a 1-hour, 15-minute downtrend. And I know that a lot of you guys probably are long the pound right now. In my opinion, I think we are going to go much lower. I won't really be that bullish on the pound until we reach at least 1.33. So for me, I'm very short bias on this pair. I do think we'll be going much lower. I think this small little rally we are seeing on the 4-hour chart right now is going to be ending pretty soon. We could come up to this trend line, react. We could even come up to this 4-hour area of supply up here and push down. So you could look for 15-minute confirmation in there, but like I said, I'm personally waiting for a new low to be made down here and then looking for shorts to ride much lower, and my ultimate target would be actually much lower, basically 1.324 right down here. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for on the British pound. All right, next on to the Aussie dollar. And real quick, if you guys are liking this video, please let me know by liking the video and maybe leave me a comment. Let me know what pair you guys are watching this week. It would be much appreciated. And if you don't like the video, hit the dislike button. I seem to get a couple dislikes every video, but let me know why you don't dislike it. I'm curious. So if you're going to be going long the Aussie dollar, our target right before this daily area of supply, 0.738. Short side, my target would be 0.721. I'm pretty bearish the Aussie dollar right now because I am very bullish the US dollar. But what I'm personally waiting for is for a new low to be made coming off of this 4-hour area of demand. So I'm basically going to be waiting for that to be removed, and then I'll be on a 15-minute time frame shorting pullbacks all the way down to 0.72. So I do think that this momentum to the upside is going to be short-lived. We could see this pull back at any time. There is 4-hour supply right up here, so you could look for confirmation up in this area. I'm personally not going to be doing that because I think if we do break above this trend line like that, we could actually see more bullish momentum to the upside, and where we could be pulling back to this daily area of supply. So you could actually look for 1-hour confirmation in here. If you don't know what confirmation is for supply and demand trading, check out my tips playlist. I have a confirmation video in there that might be very helpful to you. But overall, I'm pretty bearish this pair. I just have to see the evidence that sellers are stepping up again and breaking that low on the 4-hour. All right, looking at USDCAD, the past week, I talked about how this daily supply zone was going to be in play right here. Our target was hit, saw a little bit of a down move, but ultimately we did end up pushing higher on the US dollar, and now we are contacting daily supply again. I'm personally not very interested in trading USDCAD because this daily chart is just sideways right now. I want to see trends. I like to trade with the trend, right? So you could look for 1-hour confirmation in here. I personally am not. If you do get a short trade, I would target 1.246. To the long side, I would target 1.275. I do think we could go much higher on USDCAD considering the DXY, and I'm very bullish the US dollar. So I don't really feel comfortable buying just yet based on this daily area of supply being in control. So for me to start buying again, I'm going to have to come over to a 1-hour chart, and I'm going to have to see this high be removed. So basically what I do for that is I set an alert like this. I have a template that says alert, and I go to add alert. So I'll be alerted when we make a new high. I don't know why that didn't go off. Let me try that again. Okay, so create alert. Okay, so the alert's not working, but all good. I'll wait for that new high to be formed, and then, okay, I don't know what's going on right now, but I'm basically waiting for this high to be removed, and okay, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I'm waiting for this high to be removed, and then I'll be looking for a 15-minute pullback to the upside to ride to my target up there. You could target this 4-hour area of supply, but ultimately I'm bullish the US dollar, so I don't really want to be shorting any US dollar pairs right now based on the US dollar index. And if you skipped over the US dollar index, I highly recommend going back and checking it out. It's very important. Everything revolves around the US dollar index. So waiting for that high to be removed, and then I'll be on a 15-minute chart buying pullbacks to the upside, and like I said, my target would be 1.275. USD Japanese yen, we finally had that daily demand remove right here, and now we are contacting daily supply. So you could be looking for shorts. I'm personally not. I'm very bullish the US dollar, like I keep saying. We are in weekly area of supply right up here, but ultimately I do think we are going much higher on the USD yen. I know a lot of people are probably shorting this right now. I personally don't think it's going to work. Don't dislike the video because I disagree with your analysis. Definitely come back and check on what I'm saying, and see for yourself how accurate my analysis will be. So ultimately I don't want to be buying just yet. I want to wait for that high to be broken, then I'd feel more comfortable looking for buys on a 1-hour and a 4-hour chart. But I just am not seeing that momentum to the upside just yet. Looking at a 1-hour chart, clearly the momentum is down, so I could see something like that happen. Then I'll be very bullish the USD yen, but kind of just waiting right now on this one. It's not really on my watch list as far as next week goes and trading goes. And by the way, if you guys want, check out the Patreon or the YouTube membership. Links are in the description if you want all of my zones on a daily basis. It is very accurate supply and demand analysis, and it can certainly help you with your trading if you want to look for confirmation in any of the zones. Definitely check it out. It's very cheap. I priced it so that everybody could afford it, and it will certainly help you out in your trading, and I hope to see you guys there. All right, on to USD Swiss franc. We are in daily supply right now. This is another pair I'm not very interested in trading right now. You could look for 1-hour confirmation here, but ultimately I do think we will break that zone. If you do want to get in long, you could easily target 0.93. another short side target because we could be seeing a pullback down to demand down here in the daily chart. I would target 0.914 at this daily area of demand. You know, the time frames are all kind of out of whack right now. The daily is sideways in my opinion. The 1 hour sideways. If you look on the 4 hour chart, we do have this 4 hour continuation zone right here. We could see a move like this take place, so you could look for a 15-minute confirmation in here. I'm personally just not trading this pair right now. I don't see any reason to be trading it based on the daily charts. Just kind of you know, it's all out of whack. It's hard to tell where price is going to go based on this chart. For me, the evidence will be to break this supply zone like this, maybe get a nice pullback, then a move up, then we have the ability to draw that trend line and have a nice clean up trend, and I'll continue to buy the USD Swiss. Alright, on to gold, XAUUSD. The past week, I talked about how if you're bullish, my target would be 1840 as you're seeing on the screen there. So if you watched last week's forecast, very nice if you got in long. I would not be shorting gold right now. This momentum is way too strong on gold. If you come to a weekly chart, we are contacting fresh weekly supply right here at 1880. So, you know, if you do short gold, you might get a little bit of a move down here, but ultimately I think we are going much higher on gold. So I think shorting gold right now is kind of a mistake. Like I said earlier, come back, check out, you know, watch this forecast again, check out what I said, see how accurate it is, and maybe leave me a comment a week later or something like that. So I'm not super bullish gold just yet. I need to see this weekly supply removed. So I need to see 1920 hit before I actually feel very, very comfortable buying gold. And I think that trend will continue. So certainly keep an eye out on this weekly area of supply at 1880. We could see a little bit of downward pressure, but ultimately I think we will be going much higher. And there's actually new weekly demand down here at 1792. So it is also possible that we get a move down to 1792, and then we could buy that area down there. I think that would be a decent little setup. But you know, ultimately I'm pretty bullish on gold, but I just haven't seen the momentum to the upside yet. Looking at this daily chart again, we haven't even broke this daily area of supply, but the evidence is kind of in. We've tested it very deep, so I do think we are going much higher. If you come to a 4 hour chart, we saw a nice reaction off of this 4 hour zone. So if you're a Patreon member and you got a nice 15-minute confirmation in there, very nice. Now the next target would be 1870. What I'm going to be doing is, you know, you could be looking at a 15-minute chart looking for longs, but like I said, we are about to contact weekly supply. So I think it's one of those times where I think it's best to kind of just stay put, wait for the evidence to show. I want to see this weekly supply removed, and then I'd feel comfortable buying. And I also don't want to be shorting because the momentum is clearly up. Even if you look at gold on a macro time frame, go back and watch my gold long-term outlook video. I talk about all that. There's a lot of demand and the 3-month chart right here and the monthly chart that we are reacting off of. So macro wise, I think gold is going much higher, so I just don't want to be shorting gold right now, even though, you know, you could get a nice little short trade in here, but I would take profits somewhat early. All right, on to crude oil. I talked last week we could see this daily supply hold, and we are so far. So I do think we could see more downward potential in oil. I just don't want to be shorting based on this weekly trend that we have right here. It's a very strong weekly trend. Talked about it last week. I'd be very interested in buying crude oil down here at like 77.6 and ride it to the upside. So, you know, I'm not going to be going against this larger time frame trend. If you want to short, that's fine, but I would target 77.6. I'm personally, the two things I'm waiting for is for this weekly area to be hit, where I'll look for a 4-hour shift in momentum to the upside, or I'm going to be over on this daily time frame waiting for all of this supply to be removed. So I need to see 86.7 basically hit. Then I'll feel comfortable buying pullbacks, and I think oil will be going much higher. So like I said, I'm either waiting for a deeper pullback or I'm waiting for bullish pressure to kick in again and break 87. Then I'll be looking to go long on oil. So right now I just don't think it's the time to be shorting oil. That's just my opinion. You certainly can. It would be counter trend based on the higher time frames, so it is a little risky. But ultimately, I do think oil is going much higher. Like I said, I'm just waiting for either a deeper pullback or for a new high to be formed on the daily chart. Hopefully you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like and check out the Patreon or YouTube membership if you need help finding your supply and demand zones. It's only $5 CAD per month. Hope to see you guys there and hope to see you in the next video.